Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laurie. Do y'all remember this little container that I put all those paints in that I want to get rid of because it's almost empty or it's dry and the paint doesn't move? Well, I've added a few more since then and I want to try to use a little bit more of this. I learned in the first video that I can't use all this up at one time. No matter how long I create, how much paper I make, I'm gonna have some left over. So we're just gonna keep chipping away at it a little at a time. What I wanna do today is just play with this old paint, see how much I can get out of the bottle, see if I can get rid of any of it. And I wanna play on a big sheet of paper. And I'm gonna use this watercolor paper that's sitting here in front of me. It is an 18 by 24 sheet. It's 140 pounds. It'll handle a lot of water, a lot of paint, whatever I throw at it. I just mainly am using it because it's big. If it was mixed media, I would use it. If it was drawing paper, I would use it. I just grabbed the first big sheet of something I found and this was it. Use whatever you like. Just remember, the heavier the paper, the more abuse it can take. I also have this You Create drawing pad near me, which is it says heavyweight paper, but it's not really heavyweight. It is a little bit heavier than copy paper. I don't know if you can tell. This is copy paper, and I have copy paper sitting here, just regular printer paper. And I probably will clean up messes and clean off brushes and all that kind of stuff on this paper. And as we do it, we'll be making more paper. So this is another video about making paper. And once we get this paper finished, probably what I'll do is cut it up into art cards or something like that. I don't know until it's done. It might turn out to be a masterpiece and we frame it. You never know. I doubt that, but we're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna use up some of that paint and have fun. So I'm gonna get this sheet out of here and put it on my table, and we're gonna get started trying to use up more of that old paint. I have newsprint down that I use as my drop paper and another piece of paper below here. This is mixed media paper, but I'm gonna leave these down and just put this on top of it. So if anything gets off on the paper below it, that's fine. I'm gonna use my silicone spreader shaper tool, and I'm gonna use a big brush. This is not that big. It's just real soft and it holds lots of water, and I like to use a lot of water in my work. And I might use a bigger brush once I get started. It just depends. But probably what I'll do is just spread it around like this, because mainly what I wanna do first is just get a background down. This is a blank page right now, and as soon as something's on it, it won't be blank anymore. So let's see what we have in here. It doesn't even move in the bottle anymore. Oh gosh. Let's go with all the greens and blues to start. This one's practically empty, so I'm gonna have to add water. This one is empty. Empty. All right, so let's take these empty ones. I've got a spritz bottle here with water, and I've got a water jar over here with water. So plenty of water. And let's add water and see if anything comes out. Okay, there is a little tiny bit of liquid in there from the last time. You all can't see. The last time I did this with you guys. So we're just gonna put a little bit more water. We're gonna shake it up. Then we're just gonna pour it out. And all the dried paint comes with it, so just be okay with it. Oop, see, more dried paint. Just be okay with it. Go with the flow. Just let it happen. Okay, this is empty. Now, if you want to save your bottle and use it for something else, be my guest. And let's see. Let's just spread this in to our paper. It's very light colored because it's been watered down so much. But I like it. All right, let's open another empty one. This one's got just a little bit of liquidy sound in it. So let's go with that one. Let's add some water. Shake it up. Nothing's gonna go to waste here. All right, let's put this out. I could get more. I could get more. I'm gonna put some water in it and shake it some more. And once this is spread around, I'll probably add it to the paper. I'm just creating a background. I'm not worried about the colors going together or anything like that. I just want to use this paint. We'll figure out how to make this look good or look better later. Covers a lot of territory, doesn't it? More than you think when you add water. Now what I'll do is I'll take a piece of my copy paper and I will lay it down and pick up any excess that I don't want. And then I'll take another sheet. And this sheet's a partial sheet that I was using for something, so we'll use it too. And you've got new paper already started. Let's use the rest of this on here. And it is empty, except look at that. See, it's messy. And I think I made a mistake by leaving that paper under me because it just slides around, so I'm gonna take that out too. I'll put it off to the side, and what I'll do is I'll use my newsprint. This is my drop paper I like to create, and then we use it in projects. I'll use that to clean up paint too. So we got all kinds of paper making going on here. Okay, put that over here. I have this one. This is mint julep. There's no shaking going on in here. It is very dry. I don't know if you can see how dry. See? I'm gonna see if I can get anything out of it with some water. And then what I might do is use my palette knife and scrape out as much as I can. It's mostly just watery. It's not getting the paint anymore because it's too dry. So let's do this. Scrape that out, put it down here, and let's rub it around and see if it does anything. Yep, see, it's usable. Going to the edges where there's no paint and just kind of spreading it around over there. I hope you can see this. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna stick my palette knife into my water jar and wet it a little bit, and that helps the paint spread a little bit more. This is just so fun. I mean, talk about playtime with no rules and no need to make anything look perfect. This is it. This is it for sure. I'm gonna turn this around so I can get the other side a little bit. If you don't have patience for this, then you may not want to do this, but if you enjoy just experimenting and playing and using up your supply and not wasting anything in the bottle, then you will have a blast doing this. And who knows what we're going to get when it's all said and done. We might wind up with some really cute art cards that you can decorate, trade, mail, whatever you want to do. All right, I've got some here in my lid. Let's see if I can get that out. I think that's about all I can get out of here. So we've finished up another bottle. All right, now let's try this. Oh, this has a lot in it. I added a lot of water to this one, so it'll be around for a while. This is more transparent because water's been added, which I like because then you can see the color below it. And I like that. We won't be using this bottle up today because it is too full of liquid, but we'll be doing this a few times, I think. Trying to get rid of paint. Turn the paper around again. Let's do some on this end. All right, let's do this green. And you don't have to worry about covering your whole paper this way. Get as much paint on here as you want, and once you cut your cards or whatever you're making, you can add more then to fill in gaps if you want to. Let's see what happens if I put this down. Do I pick any up? Just a little bit. Still more in here to use. It is almost impossible to use up paint. I mean, it's a surprise because when I first started making this little container, I thought, oh, it'll be easy to use up this paint. There's so little left in here. Well, it's not that easy. It lasts forever. I don't even know if we need blues on here, but we'll try. We'll try a blue. All right, I've pulled out all the purples and the reds, and I've found a few. Well, a couple are very dry. These are liquidy. I'm gonna take a brush, it's a round brush, and I'm just gonna make shapes with these colors. I like this color on here. Not a good way to use up a lot of paint. We really need to use more, but I've already saturated the paper, so let's start in the corner and just draw some lines. I think I'll use my paper plate to pour some out to make this go faster. Just keep in mind this is going to be cut up, so what you see isn't what you're going to see. It's not what you're going to get. You'll get portions of it, little pieces, little snippets here and there. I want to finish using up the paint that's on my plate, so I'm just going to wet my brush and I'm going to put it on the papers here. Now we'll switch colors. I added water to my brush. See if I can get some splatters here. Not really. Paint's a little too thick. Well, there's some splatters. All right, I want to use a red. It's still drying, but I'm going to go ahead and add some pink, and I'm just going to drop some on my page and just spread it around here and there. Maybe I should do this and spread it around this way. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that. This is fairly dry, so before I do anything else, I want to try something. I have been using Pentel Arts oil pastels, and I've been using them for resist techniques, and I use the white specifically most of the time. I want to put a bunch of the oil pastel in white on my paper. And oops, you can tell I use it a lot, it's broken. Once it's completely dry, it's kind of damp. I'm gonna come in with a color on top of this and see if the resist works. But I wanna put a lot of marks on here. Maybe some flower doodles, maybe some writing. And I'm gonna cover a lot of the page because I'm gonna cover this whole sheet with a color and see what happens. I decided to try this yellow that's in the get rid of container, and I added a lot more water, so there's about that much water in it because it was mostly empty, but it's really, really watery. So I'm gonna try it and see how it looks on a corner of this paper. And if I like it, I'll do more. If I don't, we'll change colors. It may be that it's too watery. This is not resisting very well. I can pick up some of the paint off the resist though. So let's just do some more. Let's just go with it. Some of the resist is coming through, but I think I have better luck with the inks, the India inks. I still like it. I still think we're gonna get something really cool out of this. I'm gonna use up this bottle though. Okay, done. Now I'm going to let this dry because it's very saturated. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really happy about the resist technique that happened on this. I've done some resist technique with India ink and the oil pastel, and it turned out really good. This did not turn out as good, but this is not a lost effort. It's just another step toward being happy. We aren't happy here, we're just going to keep going. And I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I take the next step. I can still use the oil pastel below it to bring it out more with another color, or I could paint some of it in. Don't know what I'll do yet. I haven't decided. Right now, I want to let it dry. All right, so we have a hot mess here. I'm going to keep going because you guys need to see not everything works out the way you planned. And you can fix it. You can make it better. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back to my oil pastel, but this time I'm going to use a black one. I'm just going to play. Just going to go over all the writing and all the flowery marks and everything. All right, I've gone over all the white. Not exact, but close. And I'm going to leave this sit for a minute while I go run an errand. I might take my heat tool, and what you can do, I have a little brush stick, it's called, and I use it for blending. I would take my heat tool, normally I would do this with my finger, but it gets really hot, so this is a better way to do it. I would heat up my oil pastel, and then I would blend it in, so it's not so scratchy, it's more blended. I might do that, I don't know. So I'm back from my errand, and I spent the last couple of minutes before I turned the camera on melting down the oil pastel. I said I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but I decided to do it. I don't know if you can tell a difference from when I last turned the camera off and back on, but this is what it did look like. This one right here has not been done. And I'm going to do that with you, just so you can see again what I do. I just take my heat tool, heat it up. You can see it turns shiny, I think, I hope. And then I just take my blending tool and just go around it. I was thinking about what I wanted to do next, and I thought maybe I would fill in some of the flowers and stuff with color, but I don't think I'm ready to do that yet because y'all are in this with me, so I'm letting you take part of the blame. We don't have something we love as far as the background, so I think I'm going to add a couple more layers, and I think I'm going to use my old paint, and I'm just going to water it down and just add some more shapes and stuff on top, and maybe the flowers will have a watercolory look, and I don't know. I really don't know until I get started. Let's just start. Gotta start somewhere. Let's do a blue. That's just for the fun of it. This one's kind of watery. We'll use that one. I'm gonna get my brush nice and wet so that my paint's really wet when I use it. It's already very wet because I've got water in it. But I'm just gonna start making some shapes. Let's do some circles like we did before. So, this has to dry a little bit, but I want to bring in another color. How about this purple? This is one of those really dry ones. You can see. We're gonna try. Let's see if I can get any off on my brush here. Yeah, I can get some, but it's I don't know if it's gonna be worth doing, but we'll try. Let's do a color in here. I like this color. It's what our brush. You know, this is not doing it for me right now, the way it is, but I feel that it's got potential. I think that we can do something with this if we just don't give up too soon. So some of you might have already bailed on me by now, if you've stuck with me. You are troopers, and I give you all gold stars because you're not quitters. You are ready to do what it takes to make something work. All right, I'm gonna do another one over here. I really like this color. I think it makes everything pop. We're gonna probably put stencil on here and cover a bunch of stuff. So I'm not worried about straight lines. I'm not worried about touching the black line. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried, period. I just am having a good time. This is a very wet, watered one down too, so we'll use that. I think we're going to do some stenciling now. Since this is a big paper, we're going to use a big stencil. This is a 12 by 12. It's by the Crafters Workshop, and it's TCW 269. I'm going to use my palette paper. I'm going to use a makeup sponge. I'm just going to lay my stencil down. Oh, these are cute. Look at this. If you just put your stencil down and traced it out and cut out hearts, look at that little heart right there. How cute that is. Let's turn it around the other way. Look how cute. Just look inside that heart. Even if you just use pieces of your design, that's cute. It says B. Didn't color all the flowers in. That's okay. All right, I'm not going to do that today, but you could. You could just use this and cut out shapes, and that'd be really cute. We're going to actually stencil. I want to use the ones that have the lines in it. I don't want a solid heart. Okay, all my stenciling's done. It's muted it a little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna bring it back a little bit. I wanna put some of this red paint on here and I want it to drip. So I'm gonna get my spray bottle and I'm going to just put some down here, a few drips. I'm gonna spray it and let it run. Can you see it running? I hope you can see it running. I love this. I love it. It's working out perfect. Okay, we'll put some down here. I'm gonna spray that. Okay. I want to go this way with it. I'm trying to get it in camera so you guys can see too, but forgive me if I get off camera because it's hard to do this big piece like this. Okay. Let me get my spreader tool. I think I want to spread a little bit around. I like that. So I'm going to dry this and then I'll decide what to do from there because I don't know what the next step is. Before I dry though, I'm going to take my newsprint and just dab some up. There. I am going to take a white Posca pen. I'm just going to go around all the shapes that I see that interest me and bring them back to the top here in a scribbly effect. Okay. I think what I want to do now is evaluate if I want to do any more or if I want to cut it up and then work on it in smaller pieces because it's getting to the point where it's pretty full. I really kind of want to do something bold on top. I don't know what that would be. I decided to take a black Posca pen. This is a 8mm. And I'm going to write some maybe words or some letters or some numbers, maybe put hearts, I don't know, but something, because I just want to. So let's just go for it. All right. I think it's time to cut it up. So I'm gonna decide how I want to cut this. Before I cut this, I'm putting all my paints that I need to get rid of back into my little box here. We did get rid of 3 bottles today, so that was a success. We do have quite a bit more to do, so we will be revisiting this little box again one day in the future. We did get some more papers made here. They're not quite finished, so they'll just be sitting around to be added to. And we put some stuff on our drop paper. I think I want to make little booklets. I was gifted these little booklets. This one here and this one. Love this book. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one at some point, but I thought I could use this as a template. The size of the book is 8 1/4 by 8 3/4 if it's open, stapled in the middle. So I think I could take it and lay it down on the back of my paper like this and trace around it and make my books. I think that's what I want to do. All right, let me get a pencil. That'll be one book. I'm going to do the rest the same way. I'm going to cut them out and I'll be back and show you what they look like. I have my books cut out. There was 4 that I could get. This is what they look like so far. This could be this way or this way. They're very cute, very cute. And this is one that I haven't done yet. I still have this strip here that I don't know what I'll do with yet. I cut them up by hand so they're not perfectly straight. That just shows they're handmade. And I'm folding them over. And I just took my scissors and I kind of pressed it down. And then I have a corner rounder. I'm using the 1/2 inch side. This is from We Are Memory Keepers. And if it doesn't line up perfectly, that's okay. I just come in and trim with my scissors a little bit. What I want to do now is take the books and I'm going to put a layer of fluid matte medium on top. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the oil pastel that I put on here is thick and a lot of the resist is coming through. It's actually surprising to me, but some of the dark of the black comes off on my finger and I don't want that. I don't want things smearing around. So I have taken all of them except this one. I'm going to do this one with you. And I've put matte medium on top. It seals it and it also gives it a little sheen so that it's not so dull, which I don't mind it. I think it looks good this way. This is how it looks open. I think that's just beautiful. But it's going to get a little bit of a sheen when you put the matte medium on. I'm going to use my silicone shaper. I love this set of brushes. They are so convenient. They give a good nice spread across whatever you're putting your mediums on. And also, I think I use less product because it doesn't soak into my brush and gets stuck in there. And so it saves on brushes getting destroyed, but it uses less product because it picks up from this edge and just keeps letting you reuse. So I really like that. I don't know if you guys use them or not, but I recommend them because they're great. So I'm going to start putting on this matte medium all the way to the edges. Then I'm going to start picking it up and putting it on the other side as I go down the page. And you can see it's kind of shiny right now. It won't be as shiny when it dries, but it definitely highlights everything a little bit. This one's done. I should go ahead and just cover everything. This piece is done, but we're not done using it. I'm just done putting the matte medium on it. I don't know which one I did with you. Probably this one over here. I'm not sure. So these are still drying, so I can't do anything with them right now, but I do have one that I've been working on that should be pretty dry. When you close it, this is what it looks like. It's very damp, so I gotta be careful. I've gone ahead and put papers in it, and I don't mind this painty look in here. It just shows a human being was here and made something, and it could be covered and made pretty. It's not manufactured. So I like that. So I just put some of the drawing pad paper in here. I rounded the edges. They're not perfectly round because the papers aren't even, but that's good enough. And I left the paper a certain length so that the paper could be unfolded like this, and it could be made into a pocket, or you could leave it like this and make a spread, or you could turn the paper around this way and make a pocket, whatever you want to do. The center is just tied, a knot's just tied. This one has got the flap. They all have the flap. They're just in different places. Okay, as soon as these other ones dry, that's what we're gonna do. In the meantime, I'm gonna finish my coffee. But I just used 3 sheets of paper. So I used this paper here. I've showed you this before. I use this a lot. I'm just gonna pull out 3 sheets. I wanted to salvage as much of the paper as I could, and all I did was stick my paper in so I'd know how far up to go, fold my book over, get an idea where to fold, which is right here, but I'm going to go a little smaller because I don't want my paper to extend outside of my book. I want it to be inside a little bit, so I'm going to not use this line exactly. I'm going to kind of go inside the line a little bit, making it shorter. So then I have a bone folder somewhere. Where did it go? Here it is. Get these pages to lay down a little bit. We're going to separate them in a second. And then you have this little section left over, and I'm just going to fold it back on itself till it's even with the other side. Doesn't have to be perfectly even, just close. Okay, so then I can fold these pages any way I want, but they'll fit in here like this. And then I just trimmed off the top, and I didn't want the top to be flush, so I gave myself a little leeway here. Instead of being flush at the bottom, I pushed it up a little bit so it's not quite flat with the bottom. And then I'm going to draw my line up here. And I'm going to cut this off, but I'm going to cut it below the line so that my book is not flush with the top. And I just hand cut it. I know it's risky, but I did it. That's because I don't really mind if it's not perfect. Need my ruler though. This is not going to work. Looks straight enough. We do a lot of eyeballing here. Okay, then I'm going to cut below the line. And if you feel better doing a X-Acto knife or measuring properly and making sure you don't make any mistakes, then go for it. But this is fine enough for me. And I'm saving this because I might use it for something. And let's test. That's pretty good. All right, now I need to decide which directions all my little pages are going to fold. So I'm going to take my pages apart. These are still connected. There we go. Okay, I want one facing this way. But I think I want the first page of my book to be a flat page, so I'll turn it over. And so when you open your book, it'll be like this, and your flap will be on this side. You can make it a tuck spot there, a pocket, or you could turn your paper over this way and do this. Now they're all stacked inside each other. And test your book out. Is it going the way you want? Yes. I can tack it down. I can open it up. I can cut it off. So now I'm going to corner punch the edges, the corners on the outside. And what's going to happen is after I punch the corners, the pages that have the flip up, they're going to look like this. There's going to be a little notch. If you don't like that, don't corner punch, because it's not going to work. Or tear off all those little pages and then all those little sections, and you can corner punch it and not worry about it. But I'm going to corner punch. The pages don't meet evenly, so the corner punch is not going to grab everything evenly. I'm just getting myself a little guide here to get started, because I'm going to go through and fix the ones that don't punch properly. I'll just take my scissors and I'll just kind of go around. My book's ready to be bound. I've got an awl, a pokey tool, anything sharp. A big needle will work, like this big needle would work. I just find this easier on my hands. And I'm going to take some, this is hemp cord, and let's do this purple up here. I'm going to make it about the length of the book twice, and then another half. Don't need a lot for this one. And then open the book. I'm going to clip on both sides just so it doesn't slide. Then I'm going to eyeball the center. I don't go for measuring the center. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to stick a little hole there. Then I'm going to put one, maybe 3/4 inches from the top. Maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4, depending on what you like, what you think. Wherever you want it. You could go 1 inch if you wanted to. Right, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom, about right there. Okay, I'm going to thread my needle. I use this needle because it has a big eye. It's an upholstery needle, and it's easier to get my strings through when they're thick like this. All right, I'm going to go up the center on the inside because I want to make this one like mine. I want my little knot in the center there. But if you want your knot on the outside, then start back here instead of in here, and you'll do the same steps I'm doing. You just start opposite. You start on the opposite side. So you'd be coming up the center rather than out. And then I'm going to go up the top hole. I'm going to take the top hole and go in and come through the center. You would be coming from this side and going out. So it's just completely opposite of what I'm doing, so Make sure it's taut, but not too tight. You don't want to rip your papers. I'm gonna bring my string all the way down to the bottom hole and go in. Yours would be coming all the way down on the outside. Okay, then I'm gonna come back up the center hole to the other side. Okay. I'm gonna take off these clips, get them out of my way. All right, now I wanna make sure everything's tight enough, and you wanna make sure that your string, there's a string down the center, one long string right here. You wanna make sure your tails go on opposite sides. One comes this way, and one comes this way under the string so that you can tie a knot on top of your string. I'm gonna tie a knot, make it tight, and then I'm gonna switch and tie it the opposite direction so it's like a box knot. And then it's gonna trim it really short. And if you wanted to, you could add an embellishment or something. So now we got another book made. I'm about to bind the last booklet, and I thought I'll go ahead and do the binding the opposite direction so that the knot is on the outside of the book, because I thought, you know, it's all well and good to say do it the opposite, but it helps to have visuals. So I'm going to go ahead and do the last book the opposite way. So if you want your knot, instead of in the center, you want it on the outside, you just start on the outside, on the back, going through the center hole, and come up into the center of the book. And you want to hold on to some of your string to tie with on the outside. So I'm going to hold on to that. And then on the inside, I'll go down the top hole and out to the back. I didn't make my holes as big on this one. And I'm going to pull it taut. Make sure I hold on to the string with the other hand so I don't lose it. And then I'm going to come up around to the back, and I'm going to bring my string all the way down to the bottom. Come up to the center again. You want to make sure it's taut, and then come back to your center hole and go out. And the same thing applies on the outside as the inside. With your tails, you want one on one side of your string and one on the other so you can tie your knot, and that'll keep your string more centered. And if you wanted to, you could tie a charm or something back here. I'm going to cut these short. Okay, so now you have one with a knot on the outside and one on the inside. You could make whatever you're binding with a longer piece and then leave a long tail and then use it as a tie if you want to. I didn't do that, but you could. So let's see if our long strip is dry. Put these to the side for a minute. Our 4 little pamphlets, aren't they cute? What I want to do with this, I think I have enough width to make an index card size. And I pulled out an index card just to have as a sample, and I see that I absolutely can do that. And I could get 1, 2, 3, at least 4 index cards. So we have 4 little pamphlets, we'll have 4 index cards to go with it. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put my little template back here, and I'm just going to cut it out. There's one card, and isn't it cute when it's cut away from its parent? It just turns into little art pieces, and they're so cute, so adorable. Okay, I've got all my cards cut out, and this is all the scraps that are left over from that giant piece of paper that we thought we ruined. So this is what our cards look like. They could be used any direction. This could go either way. I love this one. I love the blue. That blue in there really makes it pop. I kind of like it this direction or this direction. And there's the bottom part of this flower right here. See, it went together like that. Isn't that cute? cute. And then there's this one. Okay, remember these little pieces I told you to save that we might use? I think I want to use them. I'm going to use 3 of them. I don't need a 4th one. I need to color them. I decided to go with this Craftsmart chalkboard paint because I want it to be kind of matte-ish because I want to write on it. So, okay, my strips are painted and dry. I'm going to take a white Arteza gel pen. I'm just going to write thank you. There. That's just cute, and you can use that in your journaling or something that needs some contrast. Just tear up the pieces, tear it apart, and use little pieces of it. Or you could leave it a whole strip. It could be used. Okay, it's all dry. Now I want to put these on the book. All right, here's the 3 books with the little belly band around it. That's just so cute. Really makes them pop. I'm not going to do anything more to these. And then our cards. Backs are unfinished. There's stuff on the back. It's just the nature of creating, so I'm leaving it like that. And we have one more thing to do. Remember the papers that we created along the way? We made these papers, and we have a drop paper. I'm going to take some of this paper. I'm going to find some areas that I like. And I have these 3 clothing tags from some t-shirts we bought my husband. And I'm going to cover the tags and make bookmarks or a tag. It could be a bookmark, it could be a tag. I'm not sure. I may add a hole. The hole's little. I want a bigger hole if I do add a hole. So I might add a hole, and if I do, I'll add some ribbon, but I haven't decided that till I get it covered. Okay, now I just have to decide, do I want a bookmark or do I want a tag? And I think I want to just make a little tag that could be a bookmark. How about that? Then you have the best of both worlds. Okay, all our tags are done. Tag / bookmark. So here's what I want to do. I have something special coming up that I want to share with you, but I can't share it yet. So, but what I would like to do, I want to have a little giveaway, and what I want to do is ask you to be a part of my mailing list on my website that I've been working on. And in exchange for that, I have a couple things I would like to do for you. My website is not completely finished yet. I'm still working on it, but it's far enough along that I can put it out there. Eventually, it's going to have art or things for sale that I've made. That's coming soon. So that's one thing. If you want to be made aware of that, my website's a good place to be. The other thing is workshops or anything that I'm involved in or doing or creating on my own will be there. So what I would like to do is offer you a free gift for signing up for my newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time, but I can guarantee you're not going to hear from me every other day like some people do. But to encourage you to sign up for my newsletter that you won't get bombarded with, I have a free gift on my website for signing up. Once you sign up, you'll be taken to the link that is a free gift. On top of that, I would like to have a giveaway for those who sign up on the newsletter. So I am definitely going to give away one of these journals to someone on the mailing list after an extended period of time, and there's enough time for sign-ups. I'm going to pick a name. I'm going to do it randomly. I'm not sure how. I'll probably print out all the names and then either stick them in a bowl or get my husband to pick or something. I don't know. I want to be fair. I don't want to look at the names and pick. I want to randomly do it. So I'm going to pick one. If enough of you sign up, I'll do 2. And if a lot of you sign up, I'll do 3 giveaways. I have a feeling it's going to be 1 or 2 because I just have that feeling. But you might surprise me. You might surprise me. So I won't know which one's going to who. So I'm just going to stick them all in envelopes and get them ready to go so that when I'm ready to mail them, I just put an address on there. But you're going to get one of the little journals that we made. It's this little booklet. One of the cards, index size cards, and one of the tags. But you can decorate everything yourself and finish it off yourself and just have fun with it. So that's my thank you to you for signing up for my newsletter. A giveaway and a free gift for signing up that's already there, ready to go. Just go run over there and sign up and you'll get your free gift. All the links will be in the description box. So thanks so much for joining me. Thank you for supporting me, what I do on my channel here. I hope that you will sign up for the newsletter because I'm excited about the information that I have for you that's coming up in a couple of weeks. And I want to share that with you. Thanks again. I will see you in the next video. Have a great whatever it is. Bye-bye. Okay, there you guys went. I gotta find you now. You're on the floor. Where'd you go? All the way under the table. Oh my goodness, I gotta go under the table to get you guys. Could you have made it easier on me? There. Okay, I got y'all back on the table.